Well, this sure seems familiar. I feel like I've been here before. So we got kind of a warm day today. It's a little rainy, but that's okay for me because I'm in the garage here going to town on this dark. So anyway, I'm proceeding with stripping out the interior of this car. You know, this is the one that was infested by mice and rats and squirrels and every other thing, all kinds of animals. So it got the whole interior just filled up with nesting and feces and stuff like that. It was really, really nasty. So I knew to get this thing totally clean, I was going to have to pull the dash out and clean it out and all that, because on top of that, I don't know what's in the here box or anything like that. And the windshield was busted in a couple different places. It had a huge set of cracks here, and it had a big bullseye over there. So it had to come out, and it has to come out anyway if you're going to take the dash out, because Mopar wisely designed this dashboard assembly so that it does not come in or out with the windshield in place. So to start out with, you have at each end of the dashboard, on the bottom edge of it, on the sides here, you have a bolt. It's a 7/16 bolt, and that frame is slotted, so you can just simply loosen the bolt, and then once you get the rest of them out up here, you can just pivot the thing over and just pull it out. As I mentioned, you have 5 bolts up here, and these were all here in opposition to the Valiant, which was missing one of them over there, but this one was all there. So I'm in the process of pulling those out and that kind of thing. And like I said, got the windshield and the gasket out, and this windshield channel looks just fine on this car. They'd really thrown the sealer to it, so that's good. A lot of times they'll rot under here, but this one, I think this car was garage kept quite a bit. First part of its life. So I'm just pulling the last bolt out here, and it's loose, I think. There it is. This whole thing loose now. It's ready to go. So I'm going to do that. I'm leaving the wiring in here because I don't want to mess with the wiring. I'm just going to check it and clean it up as needed, but I'm not dealing with this bulkhead connector. That's the can of worms I'd just rather not even get into. But I'll show you here in a little bit probably why we're going to have to clean this thing up thoroughly. Okay, that thing's out. So I'll show you what it looks like. If that, it's not hard at all really. But you can see why I was saying that this is all got to come out and be cleaned up. Dirty, nasty, nasty. So next up, we're going to get that here box out. I spoke a little too soon on this dash frame. I said, well, they got all the bolts in on this one. Well, they did. I got them in, but on this one, they missed the captive, whatever they call that thing. You know, it's supposed to be like that, where the thing can screw into it, but you can see it was not moved. I didn't move it, but it was beside it. So one car they didn't put the clip in the right place, and one they just didn't even put it in there. So whoever was doing dash frames on these at Dodge Main up there was kind of lazy, wasn't he? You know, people complain about the quality of stuff that we get from overseas now, but it's not like we did that great of a job either. Okay, you look at the back of this thing. It's all original and it's in good shape. It's just dirty, rusty, nasty. So you see that's why it had to come out. Here, take a good look at that. It's ignition switch. That's exactly what you want to have right around your ignition switch. That's the wiper switch. Flasher, headlight. But the speaker on this one's nice. That's what I'm saying. This car obviously didn't spend the time out in the sun that the Valiant did, because the Valiant, everything on the dash was just cooked. So anyway, I'm going to get that here box out and get it in a safe, secure place, and then do some cleaning up in the car there. Continue on with that and Then I'll come back and I'm going to take this nice, beautiful dash pad off here, store it safely, and take all that off and everything I can take out of this thing, and then get ready to refinish it. Minimum of 300. I don't know what that means there. I don't know what an old pen. See, you'll never get the smell out of here if you have all this still in here. It's just nasty anyway. That's why I'm wearing gloves and a mask. Okay, I'm suited up again, and got the unenviable task of removing this headliner. And despite the fact it's going to be in the wrong color, if it was in good shape, I could probably just dye it as is, where it is, but it's got holes eaten in it from animals. So that's not good. It's got a big one back there, and I think that based on just looking under here, that it's compromised as far as animals. So I'm going to take this out. I haven't been able to get this out yet. I know how it comes out, but it's got spring clips. Those two things, those little buttons there, have got little wire spring clips made onto them, and they snap through a hole there. And the way you would probably try to get them out is try to get something under there to lever them up and out, but that's not going to be happening because you'll tear the board up, and this board's in excellent condition, and I don't know that they even make these anymore for this car. They might. I don't know if they're the same as a Dart for a Swinger or not. I can look into that, but I don't need one as long as I don't tear this one up. You also notice that this has a piece of trim around it, which I don't know that I'm going to be able to save. It probably doesn't matter anyway. I can just get some generic vinyl trim to put around that. But the main thing I'm glad about, and I'm going to try to be very careful about taking this headliner off, is that it's given me, I'm going to take a bunch of pictures here, it's given me a blueprint of how they put this one in originally. So that's excellent, because the other car didn't turn out that good on the back, and I didn't have a guide to go with. So this one, that's excellent. So I'm going to start taking some pictures. I noticed something here. Trying to figure out what this was over here under the I guess they call it the weather, not the weather strip, but the wind lace that I peeled off there. And this appears to be what's left of some masking tape. As you'll notice, I'll peel this back. And that's exactly what it is, because it looks like they must have painted the car first, the interior, because that's masked over this color, but this has gold exterior paint on it. Because when you look over here, it has they didn't take the tape off before they painted it. I'm assuming that's what it is. This car could have been repaired, but I don't see any evidence of that so far. Not here. So anyway, they were evidently just churning them out there in late '68, and so they just didn't take the masking tape off before they painted the car. Maybe Larry was hungover that day, or maybe he was mad because the boss man was going to make him do something over. He flubbed up. But anyway, I think they did the same thing over there too. Look at that. That is Mopar quality control. You've seen it here. It's come to light after 52 or 3 years, about 52 years. We just had to get them out for satisfy people's unrelenting desire for Mopar A-bodies. Get them out, Valiants, Darts, run them out. Don't worry about that, just run them out. Now, like, look right here, you notice that this headliner is V-notched right there. So that's good. I didn't do that on the other one, so that probably explains. And it looks like it's, well, it's a seam actually. I was looking at that, but so you see how they've done. So I'm gonna try to take this thing off in one piece. See, they've notched it right here, and I didn't know to do that. So, all right, I do now. Okay, let's proceed onward. This headliner didn't look too bad from the bottom side, did it? Boy, it was nasty up top. So I just took it out with the bows still in it. And you'll notice, or you may not notice, but anyway, it's good to do it this way because the bows are color coded on the ends. They have paint on the ends of them. It's supposed to be different shades of paint, but that sure looks like the same to those two. But I guess maybe that may mean they're the same length. But then this one's got purple, that one's got purple, and the back one's, maybe it's got purple, I don't know. But anyway, so you can see they've been chewing on it, and it's just, what a nasty mess this is. That's why when you buy an old car like this that's got the interior still in, you might as well count on just taking every bit of it out, unless it's in good shape, man. You see that says W7 of 68. And yes, oh yes, there were nests in here. A big one fell down right there, and another big one over there, and the insulation is all disintegrated. But the boards look good back there, so that's good. This thing is quite a bit different from the other car. The window, the tack strips for the headliner look like they come out if you want them to, but they're easily gotten to, as opposed to the other one where it was way in the back. So hopefully this headliner will be a little bit easier to put in, I hope. Morgan Freeman voice. I hope sometimes this headliner will be easier to get in, I hope. So anyway, man, I love this warmer weather. It's probably not gonna last, but man, it just reinvigorates me. Ready to go. All right, so on to the next project here. Okay, second day in a row that we've had 70-degree temperatures. So I got this headliner out, as I showed you, and I hate to say it, but what this is in the back here, these little black granules, is bug crap. So there's been bugs in here in this car. All that, I don't even want to touch it, but that's what that is. Remember on Smokey and the Bandit 2, when they're at the end of the movie, they're driving down, Buford's driving down the road in his car, and it's up like it's been folded up, and he tells his junior, he says, "Give me your handkerchief." His junior says, "What?" He says, "Give me your handkerchief." So he reaches over and rubs something on the dashboard. He gives it back to him. He says, "What was it, Daddy?" He said, I'll say the clean version. He says, "Just a little fly speck." Well, that's not flies, that's roaches. So this thing was yuck. I'm telling you, the rednecks are nasty sometimes. Boy, oh boy. So anyway, I'm in here cleaning out every last bit of anything that's not metal or plastic, basically. So this has used to have a blanket, insulation blanket glued around the bottom of the cowl like that. So I've been scraping all that out, and it's got one insulation pad was there on the end, and one here on the end. I've already removed those. I'm taking pictures of these so I make sure when I order new ones to get the right ones. And then it's got these are firewall insulation pads. Not much of that one left. You can see it had junk up on the top of it, and I was wondering what this story was with this, because this is really kind of surface rusted here pretty badly. And it occurred to me, I thought, well, maybe I have a leak from where the fan motor comes through. And I thought, no, it's not that. That's from all the rat pee in here. So they were making it. That must have been one of their places to do that. So I won't say it wasn't leaking a little water, but it looks pretty dry in here. So, but that stuff's everywhere. All that crap's just everywhere. So there's a pad up there I'll take out. So taking all that just right out and getting rid of it, ordering new ones. The new stuff's not that expensive. So, and this does have some red, I guess that's red oxide primer under here. But it's not much. This is an economy car, so they didn't overdo it on the primer, and they did not overdo it on the insulation. There's no insulation on this except what's under the carpet, and that ain't much. So I was watching Howard's video, Old Car Alley, and he's talking about the Dynamat, but I think there's some cheaper alternatives to Dynamat. Just don't use any that are asphalt backed. I think people have been using some of this stuff it's like soft metal, but it's got asphalt on the back of it. You can just stick it down. I tried that once, and the only problem with that is it uses asphalt, and so it makes a real strong stench in there. So alright, and then after that I gotta scrape the roof here. Oh boy, fun stuff, isn't it? Oh well, glad to be out here. Let's move on, shall we? Well, I was congratulating myself on so far not finding any previous or current residents in here that are not human. But I think my luck just ran out. So I was blowing down these channels here. These are where the wiring runs back to the back of the car. This side doesn't have any in it, but the other side does over there. And so I'm blowing those out with a blowgun, and then blowing around the top of up there. So if there's any stuff up there, I got it out, hopefully. But I was blowing this one from the rear, and then something popped out here, kind of slid out. It's not alive, but it would not blow out any further. And it appears to be a tail there, so I really don't want to touch this. I'm grossed out by stuff like this big time, but oh God. Yeah, buddy. Sorry for the finger. Okay, well, it's enough of that.